begin to tell you the feeling it is standing here. It's amazing. Let me just remind you why we're all here. Or not. Is it playing? All good?
Because it's who we are as human beings. You know, you look at humans in relation to apes and other animals, and when they get attacked by a saber-toothed tiger, they go, wee, 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 and they can't communicate to their fellow ape. You need to watch out for those. We have a conscious mind, and we're able to say, you know the cats with the huge front teeth? Stay away from those. Now, I didn't get attacked by a saber-toothed tiger, but you told me about it, so I have now lived that experience. And that is why we have evolved as human beings, because we can impart experience to each other. When you try to take that away, what you're really trying to do is control other people, control their experiences. And if you do that, you are a saber-toothed tiger. Speaker's Corner isn't just a park where people talk. I remember going there as a kid, and it's an integral part of British society. It's an integral part of Western society, where people go of all shapes and colors and pontificate. What I think has happened recently is it's been co-opted by Islam and turned into a pulpit for radical extremism. And the fact that you can't even mention that is proof that that is so. You know, if you want to know who's in power, check out who you can't criticize. You can talk about Christians and British people till the cows come home. But if you say Speaker's Corner has been co-opted by Muslims, then you'll literally get arrested.
I guess growing up, I was always a bit of a contrarian. It got me into a lot of trouble, but I always thought that the battle of ideas, the challenging my teachers, challenging my parents, whatever it may be, was the most important game or battle or challenge we would have in our entire lives, because the battle of ideas is the very way that we come to the best conclusions to live our lives, to save lives, to create any of these things. We come to these conclusions through debate. And I always fought for free speech, because debate was not only something that I loved, but something that I believed would come to create a better society. I never expected in my lifetime for it to be so suppressed the way it is. I thought I was fighting for future generations that would face what we're facing now, but instead I've now found myself banned from countries, kicked out of groups, kicked out of parties, whatever it may be, within my lifetime. And it's becoming ever more real every single day, and that horrifying world without debate, without other opinions, is fast coming upon us. And once we reach that, all of our creation, all of our beauty, all of our science, everything, it will be the lowest common denominator. The best ideas will not win, and society as a whole will not win because of that.
Well, the free pursuit of intelligence, the free pursuit of expression is, as far as I'm concerned, a battle of the literal versus the ironic mind. And the reason it's so important that we defend the ironic mind, which is the type of person who says things that might offend, the reason it's so important to defend that is because it's out of offence. It is in the filth, perhaps, even sometimes, that we find the truth. In the things that we don't like to probe, in the things that we don't necessarily even like to say, there lies truth in those things. Freedom of speech, for me, is not just about people being able to say what they want. It's about being able to find out core truths Because without the truth, you can't fix the problems in the world. Well, I mean, Speaker's Corner is just the most magnificent environment. It has been for so long. I mean, the ideas that have been proposed at Speaker's Corner, I mean, most of them I probably wouldn't even agree with, but I love the fact that it exists. I love the fact that I can go there, say whatever I like, and then I can listen to other people saying things that I might not particularly like. What's really, really deeply troubling is when Speaker's Corner gets turned into a pulpit for simply one ideology. That is no longer Speaker's Corner, that is Tyrant's Corner.
I grew up imagining myself a member of a community of hellraisers, of experimenters, of the jokers, the Lokis, and the mischief makers of society. I was gay, and I particularly thought that because the left said that they liked gays, that I would be allowed to experiment with dangerous ideas, express myself how I pleased, push the boundaries of what was acceptable, play with taboos. Actually, I discovered because I was a conservative and the wrong kind of gay that I've been censored more than almost anybody else. I've been had my free speech restricted more than anybody else I can think of, and it's been painful. At least until recently, there would have been no need for something like a Speaker's Corner in America, a land where your right to express yourself freely is guaranteed by the First Amendment. But maybe those days are coming to an end. Maybe one day America's going to need a Speaker's Corner too. London needs one, the UK needs one, because free speech isn't free in Europe, and that's something that needs to change. The idea that you could be forcibly detained by law enforcement for offending somebody's feelings is ludicrous. And living in America has taught me just how insane it is, and Britain has got to fix it.
Freedom of speech is important in general, I think, to everybody. But I think it becomes more important when you find yourself starting to lose it, as the right has over the past couple of years. The problem now that we mainly see is that they're not being consistent with it. So they are pressing more people with right-wing views, and they're letting people with more left-wing views get away with not only pretty much whatever they want to say, but also you see these anti-fascists who get away even with violence, and they're not reprimanded for this. So it's very important if we want to, especially for me as an American, the First Amendment, if we want to remain a free country, for sure.
Free speech is important to me because the truth is important to me. Human conversation about reality and facts and things that make sense is important to me. I mean, you wouldn't say to a scientist, why is free scientific inquiry important to you? It's because that's what science is. You wouldn't say to a mathematician, why is mathematical consistency and the openness to discuss various theorems important to you? That is mathematics. And in the human journey towards trying to find actual truth in the world, which is an elusive and slippery beast to track down, no one person is going to end up with a monopoly on that process. We need everyone to be involved, everyone to bring their A game to the human conversation in the pursuit of truth so that we actually capture it for once and hopefully can keep it for a while. Well, I actually grew up in London, and I remember as a kid going to Speaker's Corner and seeing the crazy, the sane, and everyone in between getting up to make their case to sometimes a receptive, sometimes a hostile, sometimes a jeering crowd. And I remember thinking what an amazing thing it was to stand up there and cry your barbaric York from the rooftop of the world to see how it landed in the minds of the people. One of the great challenges in European civilization at the moment is people don't know what they can talk about. They don't know what they can criticize. They don't know where the line is. And when they see someone stand up at Speaker's Corner and speak a truth out to bring a challenging argument and perspective to the United Kingdom or other places, they then have some sense of what is allowable, of what can be talked about. And that, at least until free speech is fully restored, is a very positive thing. So I would say to all of the men and women who stand up there and speak a difficult truth to a sometimes hostile world, thank you. You are the light that shows people the way, that allows us to find what is real in this world.
Free speech is important because it's who we are as human beings. You know, you look at humans in relation to apes and other animals, and when they get attacked by a saber-toothed tiger,
I want to